Hey, 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 my people, there is fire on the mountain. Come and hear Tori. Tinubu told Nigerians that Nigerians need to endure this hardship just for 2 years. Today, the truth is finally out. The World Bank has told Nigerians that this hardship, this is just the beginning, because Nigerians must endure this hardship for 15 years. Like, we need to have patience till 15 years before things will get better in Nigeria. My people, honor they hear what they hear. Like, how many of us is going to be here for 15 years before things will start getting better in Nigeria? Which means we all are finished, like it is finished, my people. Not only that, to come and see reactions as Nigeria Super Eagles return to safety after being held hostage for 15 hours in Libya. This matter tie wrapper, my people. Let me allow you guys to listen and hear what Arise Television have to say concerning all this matter, especially these 15 years that Nigerians need to endure. My people, there is wahala.
Well, let's begin what's trending with reactions trailing the inhumane treatment of the Super Eagles of Nigeria at the airport in Libya. The players traveled to Libya for the second leg of their 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying match following their 1-0 victory in Uyo and were met with harsh treatment by Libyan officials. The players were held at the Al-Bak airport for over 20 hours upon their arrival. Following public outcry, the players withdrew from the qualifying match and returned to Nigeria. Well, on Monday evening, the Nigerian Football Federation issued a lengthy statement detailing the Super Eagles ordeal in Libya. And I'll read an excerpt that actually got me. They wrote, "It took over 1 hour for the team's luggage to roll through the carousel, despite the fact that the bags and other items had already been hauled from the aircraft immediately on arrival. No official of the Libyan Football Federation was at the airport to receive the delegation, as it is the best practice globally. Airport officials could not answer the simple question on where the buses that would take the delegation members back to Benghazi, where the NFF had booked hotel rooms, were. When delegation members, including the NFF president, Comrade Shuaibu, and Dr. Sanusi, attempted to venture outside the airport to ascertain if there were vehicles waiting for the team, they were stopped in the most uncouth manner by airport security personnel." I know that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has waded into this matter. CAF also has responded, but the details of how our Super Eagles were treated has, enraged Nigerians. I'm completely upset about the situation. But also the Libyan Football Federation have provided a video evidence of its team, Mediterranean Knights, and what they endured when they visited Nigeria for the third round of their AFCON 2025 qualifying match. As you can see in that video, they were left waiting and they were made to pass through like some, bad roads. But what are we talking about here? Is it tit for tat? This is what it is now, tit for tat. Let me take some reactions from Nigerians. This is from Eri Oluwa. He wrote, "I've always had my doubts about the Libyans, especially regarding how they treat blacks in their country. It's hardly different from how other Arabs treat us. It's despicable and uncalled for. I mean, it's not like these Super Eagles were auditioning for Survivor Airport Edition. This isn't just disrespectful, it's irritating and a massive clog in the will of African unity. AFCON is supposed to be about unity, not about turning teams into pawns in some geopolitical chess game. Let me not talk about CAF. I will skip it. The Nigerian government needs to step up, not just with a stern letter, but with actions that shout, you don't mess with our Super Eagles. This isn't just about football. It's about basic human dignity." Well, Adeze put out a picture and she wrote, "On the left is the bus the Libyans brought to pick up the Super Eagles after over 20 hours of evil and wickedness. On the right is the bus that NFF provided to convey the Libyans when they were in Uyo, and people opened their mouth to say that we did the same thing to them. Absolutely not sad. So, I mean, we respected them. I mean, look at the bus that came to pick them up when that incident occurred. I believe how many weeks back, like a week ago, right?
A week ago, yes.
Ayo.
All right, so first of all, I'll just echo what you had mentioned earlier, Rufai. This is where Nigerians have to show oneness.
Yes.
I can't believe that some Nigerians are justifying the actions of the Libyan by saying, but we did the same thing. Not at all. There's a place for criticism. There's a place for loyalty and patriotism. We cannot in any way accept. Because for the way they treated the Super Eagles, it's a slap on Nigeria's face. It's not just about our Super Eagles, the national team of Nigeria going out there. Then in explanation for what happened in Uyo last week, I'm glad Abi was here earlier, and she said that what happened was that the Libyan team did not inform the Nigerian officials what time they'd be arriving and their itinerary for their arrival. And so there was no one to welcome them. But immediately they heard they were around, they sent officials to receive them, and they sent very comfortable buses. Unfortunately, we can't do anything about bad roads. That is part of the Nigerian. It's not, we didn't destroy the road purposely because we knew that Libya was coming so that they would have a bad experience. And then they got to the match, and she already mentioned about how we saw how lackluster they played. They wasted a lot of time. But again, this would have been justified if this is not. If this were the first time that Libya was doing this. We've heard about how when local league players and team members go, Eyimba United, she talked about Remo Stars and a few other teams. So what happened with them? Did they come and was a retaliation? Even the audacity of the Libyan Football Federation writing a letter to say that because we didn't play the match today, or we didn't stay to play the match, we were going to write to CAF and that we should be sanctioned because of our people. The audacity. Yes. I said it before, it's not just about sports now. It's a diplomatic issue. And the Nigerian government, and rightly said by one of the tweets, the way we are mistreated or maltreated in other countries, especially North African countries, needs to be investigated. We need to have, demonstrate a strong showing and solidarity behind our players and behind our people. Nigerians deserve to be treated with dignity, especially on the African continent. We go abroad and we are maltreated. How much more our brothers and sisters on the African continent? I hope CAF, by the way, the statement released by CAF was too watery and it came a bit late. I hope CAF will take a strong stance against this and restore some sanity to the game. Football is a game that unifies and should have been seen as a game to build bridges between amongst countries. It's sad that it's turned out this way, and we salute our men, the Super Eagles who conducted themselves well, ensured that they came back and refused to play that game. We are behind you and we support you. Your country is behind you.
Well said, Ayo. Your country is behind you. In the meantime, World Bank Vice President Indermit Gill has said that Nigeria will need to stay its course for 15 years to transform its economy. Let's take a listen.
Had to hike its policy rate by a huge 850 basis points, that's almost 9 percentage points, in the last 9 months to boost confidence in the Naira and anchor inflationary expectations. But the central bank financing of fiscal deficits has finally ended. And Governor Cardoso has been putting Nigeria, or be helping to put Nigeria on the right course, on the correct course. But this is only the beginning. Nigeria will need to stay the course for at least another 10 to 15 years to transform its economy. So I don't know if you're agreeing with me or if you're disagreeing with me. If it does that, it will transform its economy and it will become an engine of growth in sub-Saharan Africa, and it will help to transform sub-Saharan Africa.
15 years, renewed shege. Of course, a lot of people were disagreeing with him there. In under a year, people are already like suffering and dying.
No, you will just destroy, as it is now, Oji, I just have to point this in. As it is now, it's going to take another 10 to 20 years to fix the fabric of the country you've destroyed with these two policies you've made. You've ruined generations forever. Generations will never remain the same as a result of this hardship.
But I mean, there's so many things that can be done.
There has to be a road to recovery.
Road to recovery. But meanwhile, a young engineer, Oyekunle Ayasola, who designed a self-powered generator that does not require fuel, revealed in an interview how he has received life-threatening calls and messages over his design. He spoke to Vanguard about his design.
Parts I'm using, I have to fabricate them manually, which is not very much convenient. I believe Nigerians is ready for it, most especially this subsidy removal period and this high cost of fuel. Then when I was even trying to make this, it was actually, fuel was like, I think 65 naira per liter. Now it's sold for 1,000 plus. I believe Nigerians will need it more than ever. They are self-powered. They use electromagnetic field induction. Yes, so they are self-powered. The moment you on them, they're charging back itself. It has just smaller 12-volt batteries. So just for you to, kickstart, instead of starting manually. Some of the challenges, is just, threats from, I can't really say it's though it has been years back, but, from your, not just competitors, they are individuals, I don't know. They kept the threats coming in form of text, in form of calls with private lines. Though it stops for a while, but that could not stop me.
I mean, these are sort of innovation that should be encouraged and not, threatened. I mean, we are seeing our young people doing the Lord's work in our economy, and we are hearing people trying to stifle them because it also relates to, in fact, the smuggling and all of that.
I'm shocked that with this man discovery, maybe after today, nobody from the federal government, Ministry of Science and Technology can call this man. What do people like this have? They have great technology. What do? Call them forward. Put an endowment fund. All the money they've been stealing in this country that they're hiding under sockaway tank and everything, if it's $10–15 million, you give this man to scale. When he starts to sell, not only across the African continent, he will bring in Forex for you. But people will rather they go and import generation from other parts of the world when you have people locally that can scale. So I hope they're going to call this man, give him all the support he needs, and to be able to make it scale. And there are many people like that that are like this in this country.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. Bati.
Quick points, very obvious. One, this speaks to the talent of Nigerians. We have seen Nigerians coming up with different innovations in science. Ordinary people either designing airplanes or designing other things. So this is one of those diamonds of the Nigerian story. These are the people who deserve national honor. Not useless, non-performing governors who are trying to steal local government funds. When they come up with their national honors list, you'll be surprised. You see governors there, and you'll be asking yourself, what are these persons? What have they done? Including Babariga, Login, Agbada, Bluin, traditional rulers. And you'll be asking yourself questions. We should identify our heroes and promote them. Number two, innovation is the oxygen for development. No country grows without supporting innovation. So innovation should be supported. Three, the gentleman says he has been receiving threats. Does that not tell you the story about energy security in Nigeria, energy stability in Nigeria? The people who import generators, they are probably the ones that are not happy with his innovation because he will ruin business for them.
Absolutely.
So this is the whole story about energy security and stability in Nigeria. People have brains, they have talent, they have capacity to move this country forward. But the mafia, they call them the generator mafia, the diesel mafia, the people who benefit from the failure of Nigeria, that one Mr. Indebit Gill is now saying, will take us 15 years of hardship. I thought Mrs. Tinubu said 2 years. We have even been trying to digest that. Now this man comes from the World Bank and he says, no, 15 years of suffering for Nigerians. Is that how they suffer in his own country? So these are the problems that we face.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I just quickly say that this is the, and I just mentioned that now we understand why this power issue in Nigeria has persisted for so long. We see the evidence of this. Let me tell you, Nigerians are too brilliant for us to have had power issues for so many years. If we wanted to solve the issue, we would have done it a long time ago. We have brilliant scientists. Only yesterday, we had the NLNG Prize for Science innovators sit with us. They are going abroad and doing amazing work. So it's not for a lack of talent or innovation. It's just as a result of the mafia and the saboteurs who do not want Nigeria to work. So if we want Nigeria to work, just political will and support. Invest in young minds who are going abroad, who are harvested by countries abroad, who understand what it means to bring innovators and people who can really work for the country. So this power issue, a lot of the challenges we have in this country, that's why I don't believe in 15 years. We can solve it in a matter of years if we are ready to do so. That's just invest in people.
Invest in people. Well said, Ayo.
Welcome to Chamber Senior Steve.